Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Dennis Ferrer. Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Dennis Ferrer, and you're listening to Evo and RST. So keep those headphones plugged in and your speakers up, because we're going to be rocking y'all right about now.
Greetings from London, Dennis. How are you?
Hey, what's going on? Everything's cool here?
Good. Now, you will be gracing the decks at London's hottest spot, Matter, tonight. Are you looking forward to it, and what can the clubbers of the capital expect from your show?
Definitely looking forward to it. I'm always looking forward to when I head out there. Stylistically, I mean, I'm usually all over the kind of place, you know. I'll play, you know, a bit tech, you know, a bit soulful, just play everything, you know. Things that I like doing.
Of course, so it's going to be more of a kind of diverse set?
Yes, most definitely. I kind of get bored if I play the same kind of thing throughout the whole set. So, it's you know, I'm kind of known for like going all over the place anyway.
Okay, so Dennis, we're talking bullets, we're talking sandcastles, precious love, Cure and the Cause. You're literally a bullet-making factory in the musical respect. How do you define your style, and where do you gain the inspiration from?
Defining the style. I've been asked that before, and it's just very difficult to kind of answer that question, because I really believe that I don't really have a style. I kind of like just really go with what I feel. And since I was exposed to so many different genres when I was growing up, I kind of soak up everything that I listen to, you know. I mean, I listen to anything from alternative rock to like, you know, world music to, you know, soul. Anything I can get my hands on, anything that kind of, you know, a good song is a good song no matter what genre it is. If I hear something and that inspires me, I just kind of soak it up like a sponge, and it just becomes part of who I am.
I hear that, Dennis, but I'm sure you can appreciate, you know, certain producers, they'll just stick to that formula for all their forthcoming productions. But you, on the other hand, you can, you know, produce a tech tune and then, you know, on the other side of the scale, produce just as good as soulful tune. What I'm trying to ask is, Dennis, what is the secret?
I think the biggest thing that people tend to forget all the time is just like, you know, hey, I like to tell people I make music for children. It falls into an age bracket, you know, that demographic. And I think a lot of producers tend to forget that, you know, that we may get older, but that front door doesn't. Constantly have to be reinventing yourself. That's what I try to do. I mean, like I tell people, I'm not trying to make hits. I'm just trying to be different. I'm just trying to make sure that every time I come out, you know, you go, okay, what's he up to now? You know, you may not like everything I do, but there's no doubt that it's going to be different, you know what I mean?
No, I hear that completely, and I am going to wrap up on this, but what I am trying to say is, you know, say there's 1,000 tech tunes or 1,000 electro tunes, only 1% is going to break through, and what you've done, you've actually, you know, you produced for that subgenre of house music, and you've come out on top.
You know, the thing is when you're making a record, you kind of have to rein yourself in. You constantly have to be judging yourself and judging the record that you're doing. A lot of people just make records, think everything they touch is hot. I'm the opposite. I'm always worried about what I do. I'm always worried about what people think. You know, I'm always sitting there going like, no, this is not good enough. No, that's not good enough. Let me change that. No. And then you know, I've got a couple of friends who are my ears also, you know. The biggest thing is to let people hear it, you know, your closest friends, and they become kind of like advisors, you know. They tell you, well, yeah, that's kind of cool, but, you know, and then you need to glean off of that. You need to learn from that and say, okay, what did I do wrong? I know what I want to do, and then at the end, it's just, okay, did I get it done right? It's like, okay, well, you know, I do this and I do that, and I sit down and I make sure that this happens. No, there is no set way. The only thing you got to make sure is that your track is at least half better than half the records that come out. Your records can't stand up to like the last 10 records that came out in the last 6 months, and there's no point in doing it. You just got to sit there and listen to everybody else's stuff. Records that you know work on the floor, you got to listen to them and say, okay, can this hang? I mean, anybody can make a record. Anybody can get some equipment, make a tune, and think it's the next, you know, best thing since sliced bread. An artist's point of view right away is usually like that, you know. Yeah. But you got to take yourself out of yourself half the time. More than that, I think you got to take yourself out of it all the time. You need to be able to judge your own thing, you know, and be totally objective about your own product.
Yeah, I completely understand. We say, you know, you're your own best critic.
It has to be. My hard drive is full of stuff that doesn't come out, you know?
Well, I completely respect your honesty, but regardless, we commend you for your work over the last 20 years. Moving on, needless to say, Dennis, you've probably worked with every single prolific producer out there. If there could be one person you could work with that you haven't worked with, who would it be?
You know, I kind of learn different things from different producers, you know, different people who come around, they come and go. There really isn't one person that I totally enjoy. I really haven't worked with anyone, to tell you the truth. I'm kind of a bit of a loner in that respect. It's true. I don't play well with others.
No, so say for instance, you know, you got to hook up with Pete Tong in London, or you could hook up with Axwell from the Swedish Mafia. Would you jump at the chance?
No. No, because I work well on my own. I work better on my own. What happens, it's a weird thing with me. You know, there can be 5 different people in the room, and it might work out, it might not. But the thing is that, you know, you can't criticize so much as when you're by yourself. You know, when you're by yourself, you can judge. You can say, look, you know, this is really not working. Let's just cut this. When you're in with somebody else, you're under a lot of pressure. I've never liked pressure. I don't think making music is a pressure situation. I think it's something that you need to sit down, because it's a part of you that you're sharing with the world. You know, it's not a job. It's not, let's get 3 people together and okay, let's do your job. It's not that. I mean, if you want to crank out records like a factory, sure, why not? For me, as the way I work, it just doesn't suit so well, you know. But the best way to work with me, if I work with another producer, is like, you know, let's say said producer will work on certain parts of the record. Yeah. When he finishes his parts, he'll send them over to me as WAV files, and then I'll hit my touch on it. I mean, I've done stuff like with Jerome Sydenham and with a couple other people. It's just a method of working. I prefer working solo when it comes down, you know, when it comes down to making music. You understand? Whether it's somebody sending me parts that they're on a half-finished record they've done, and then I just finish it up, you know, or it's me starting something and sending it to them. That's just the way I prefer to work. When you get a whole bunch of people together, you can really get some really good records. I mean, Sandcastles was done when Jerome basically lived up above me, and we both sat down and we did that, and that worked out. But a lot of times it doesn't.
Okay, so keeping within the studio environment, Dennis, if there could be one piece of equipment you couldn't live without with, what would it be?
Oh, wow. I mean, it comes down to just your computer.
I knew you were going to say that, Dennis, but let's leave the computer out of it, because, you know, it does have a primary function. What else? What piece of kit?
Well, I've been using the Euphonics MC Pro right now, and that's been incredible for me, as all my keystrokes and stuff is right in front of me, and I can knock out records really quickly doing editing and stuff like that. As far as kit, probably I can't live probably without most of my mic collection and my compressors and stuff like that. I kind of have some high-end stuff, Neumann, you know, U47, CD7, TL1B compressors. The vintage stuff I can't live without. That stuff just, you can't get rid of that. That's not going anywhere.
Keeping it true to form, keeping it old school, Dennis. Okay, lastly, Dennis, you're stuck on a desert island for a whole year. Whom or what one thing would you take with you to keep you company?
Stuck on a desert island, what would I take with me? What would I need with me? That MPC 2500.
Easy, Dennis. So what, you telling me for a whole year on a desert island you'd be happy with, you know, a piece of studio kit? Some people say their wife, Dennis.
Yeah, because I don't know what else to do, man. It's just, I mean, I really don't. I mean, you know, that's what I do. I wake up in the morning, and that's the first thing I head for. The first thing I head for is my kit. It's just that there is, some people do it because of money. Some people do it for other reasons. I do it because I just don't know what else I would do. Well, it's a part of my life. It's who I am. That's it. I like to say, you know, that music is my wife, and anybody after that is just my mistress.
Well, Dennis, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
It's been a pleasure for me also.
And we look forward to seeing you at Matter tonight.
All right.
Respect.
Forward to it.
Easy,
Come out and have a drink. One love, brother.
www.evorst.com